Osiris here, stuck in the middle again, and let's take it back to space real quick. This is about space and technology. In a recent video, I was discussing how this DigiDog, this robot dog in New York, is a sign of technology improving, and you can't stop it. The big picture I was talking about is politicians are not getting ahead of these things. That's laughable. Politicians don't get ahead of anything, they react. And what I'm really talking about is the trouble of this. This is problematic, especially since there are a lot of people raising red flags. We are in the new age of exploration, and it's just in space this time. It's not across the ocean like it was in the early 20th century. Have you ever wondered what it was like back when Christopher Columbus was around, Marco Polo, Magellan, Matthew Henson was an amazing explorer at 20 something years old, born to sharecroppers, was able to be, I think, one of the first people, if not the first person to make it to the North Pole in 1908 or so. Unbelievable. Vespucci, one of my favorites. I just like the concept of the fountain of youth. And that's what I think Elon has with going with Neuralink. Ponce de Leon. Now, these guys were all flawed, don't get me wrong, but they had imagination and they enacted on it. I have imagination, but I just suppress it. And I've got to train that out of me. And I'm working on my child not to. So our imagination is taking us into space, but I want us to do it better this time. Learn from the past. Headline from Bloomberg Opinion: Space junk is our new tragedy of the commons. Unless countries overcome their differences and regulate the use of satellites, we're all headed for trouble. By Andreas Kluth. Yeah, this is something that's catching my attention. This has been known for years, but technology is increasing. What is going on? What's in space? Junk. We're junking up the Earth's orbit. If you look at this graph, payload related objects and debris is in blue. And throughout the years, you see that climbing. It's going to take a path where it climbs and then skyrockets as technology gets better, cheaper, rocket related objects and debris. And we have unidentified stuff out there, whether it's asteroids or literally it could be nuts or bolts or a panel off of the space station or a panel off of a rocket. It could easily fall off. So what happens is this debris falls off and it's out there in space. Now, I am not a space expert. I just read on this stuff. So please comment. Let me know if you're familiar with this space junk issue. Is it being overplayed, underplayed? Am I getting anything wrong? When I was growing up, I didn't know how space worked. I thought you just took a rocket and went straight up out of the Earth's orbit. No, 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 no. That's not how it works. You're going with gravity and you're orbiting the Earth and you're getting strong enough to get out of the Earth's orbit and into space. So this junk is circling the globe. It's circling Earth, just out there flying in a circle. It's kind of disgusting to think about. At least it's not Burger King wrappers, but it's stuff that can hurt things. So it depending on the size of the object is obviously how much damage it can do, but how fast are orbital debris traveling? In low Earth orbit, this is below about 1,300 miles, orbital debris circle the Earth at speeds of between 4 and 5 miles per second. I'm going to stop. They're traveling at 4 to 5 miles each second. However, the average impact speed of orbital debris with another space object will be approximately 6 miles per second. Consequently, collisions with even a small piece of debris will involve considerable energy. It's just talking about when something is moving at that fast, so 6 miles per second translates to almost 22,000 miles per hour. 21,600 to be exact, miles per hour. So even if it is a little screw up there, if it's going that fast and it hits something, it's going to have an impact.
There is evidence of hits on the space station, and a little piece the size of a grain of sand that really make a bad day. It's something that should be a major concern if we're going to continue to use the environment of space for the things that we want to use it for.
They talked about it from the angle of security. Yeah, that's a big issue, but I'm going to take it elsewhere. The ending paragraph of this Bloomberg opinion, I'm going to read some of it. This means that the major powers must elevate space governance to the level of other threats to humanity, from climate change to nuclear proliferation. They could publicly label the problem of a tragedy of the commons and signal their readiness to begin negotiations regardless of other conflicts they have with one another. So I'm going to stop saying we need to, this is not something that even our own government isn't proactive with things within our own country. Now we're dealing with a new age of exploration. When you get to the moon, who owns the moon? What are we going to do? Where are you going to be at? Whose junk is it up there? Who's going to clean up the junk? What's going on? Who is one country going to clean up the junk while the other one's building up more technology? No one's going to want to do it. What are the ramifications? We've got to work together across governments. The U.S. is the obvious nation to take the lead. Great. Obviously, we're going to talk about China, Russia, and others should reciprocate. Space, like the planet it surrounds, is Earth's commons. It mustn't turn into a tragedy. Well written. And I don't trust anything I see in major media, but I believe everything I read in that opinion article, and I think it was a quality article. Let me know again if you think that there's something fishy about it, because I don't trust it. I do believe it. I think it makes sense, thinking through it critically, but I do not trust anything without verifying and getting information from independent media sources and everybody out there. I want to take a break. Take this political stuff, this right wing, left wing, whatever, where you are on the political spectrum. And this is an exercise I'm actually been doing. You might think I'm crazy. I do 4 deep breaths. Let's just take 2. I'm gonna take 2 deep breaths. I'm gonna play a video clip so we can just clear all that junk out of our head about politics and presidents and who has this and that, all that just ish. Take it out of our head.
This air that I'm sitting here and breathing as you and I talk not only comes from you and shares you in that manner, but it also comes from Oklahoma, South Dakota, Alaska, China, the Thunder Nation. And all of those things combined are now part of me, and the same with the water that I drink and the food that I eat. And the intricate connection that we have is very physical, very scientific, and very spiritual.
That loss of connect is what is the biggest downfall, I believe, is that loss of reliance on the land and that harmony of creation.
People have wandered away from that idea of sacredness, that sacred connection, that spiritual connection with the land, with the people, with the air that we breathe.
There are a lot of things that I respect highly from those who are native to our lands that we're on right now. I'm in America, and native to any land really, but specifically to America. I have always admired how they lived and respected the earth. I love technology, but I understand that all this stuff is disrespectful to our planet, in my opinion. It's just, I'm not even talking about from a scientific level, just from, we eliminated all that political stuff. It isn't taking from the earth and giving back. We're just taking. CNN was recently exposed by great journalism from Project Veritas and James O'Keefe.
When it's least expected, you're elected, you're the star of You're on candid camera.
Charlie,
Is this seat taken?
I'm James O'Keefe with Project Veritas. You're on camera.
And Charlie Chester is a name that's going to live on for some time. He was the CNN TV director executive who said, you know what's next? We were out there actively trying to, I'm paraphrasing, to destroy Trump. What's next is we're going to be propping up climate change.
They've already announced in our office that once the public will be open to it, we're going to start focusing mainly on climate, climate like global warming, and like that's going to be our next like I don't know, like what's the word I'm looking for? It's going to be our focus. Our focus was to get Trump out of office, right? Without saying it, that's what it was, right? So our next thing is going to be for climate change awareness.
What does that look like?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I have a feeling it's just going to be like constantly showing videos of like decline in ice and weather warming up and like the effects it's having on the economy.
And I look at the polling, climate change polls very well for Democrats. The country trusts Democrats on climate change and the environment. So whatever the country trusts Democrats in, or whoever has power, if it's Republicans at some point, that's what they're going to exploit. They're going to say that's our next thing. The public trusted them on the health issue, so that's what they exploited. And it won. It worked. But I'm not going to trust that. Sorry. That you can talk about it, and I believe climate change, or I don't even want to call it climate change, just respecting our planet should always be at the forefront. But you are just talking about it if you don't do something about this, or talk and educate me why it's not an issue. We're just putting junk up in space. I want to get to Mars. I want to get to the moon, represent. But I'm not, we got to do it right this time. Like, we've got to do it in a way that that has respect for the universe that we haven't been. Before we just turn space into a trashed ocean. I believe living off the earth is the right thing. So when we go out and branch out, let's make that Mars, make that moon, make that space. Let's live off of space and not just take, but at least respect if there's nothing we can't give back, because space is literally a vacuum. If this is an issue you care about, or you think you can leverage this into an issue to give that feedback to your politicians, do that. Whether it's a letter or email, Twitter is probably good too. Spread the word, share this Bloomberg article, share this video, share any video, Google search it, and spread the news and spread the word. And even if you aren't passionate about this issue, it represents a larger pattern. Our government is going to have me out here turning into the Black Michael Malice if they don't start doing stuff. Michael Malice pretty much says abolish it all.
So fundamentally, what is the problem with the state?
Its existence.
So fundamentally, what is the problem with the state?
Its existence.
And that's where I'm at. If you're not going to represent us and be proactive, then what do I need representatives for? If they can't handle, this is simple. If they can't at least say we're starting talks, we're doing something. What do I need them for? What do we need them for? No, not that we could do anything about it, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just in our human nature to be like a virus, to be like a parasite. Take care.
I'd like to share a revelation that I've had during my time here. It came to me when I tried to classify your species. I realized that you're not actually mammals. Every mammal on this planet instinctively develops a natural equilibrium with the surrounding environment, but you humans do not. You move to an area and you multiply, and multiply until every natural resource is consumed. And the only way you can survive is to spread to another area. There is another organism on this planet that follows the same pattern. Do you know what it is? A virus. Human beings are a disease, a cancer of this planet. You are a plague, and we are the cure.
Global controls will have to be imposed, and a world governing body will be created to enforce them. Crises precipitate change.
Secretly plotting your demise. I wanna devise a virus to bring dire straits to your environment. Crush your corporations with a mild touch. Trash the whole computer system and revert you to papyrus. I wanna make a super virus strong enough to cause blackouts in every single metropolis. Cause they don't wanna unify us, so fuck it. Total anarchy and can't nobody stop us. You see, late in the evening, fucked up on my computer and my mind starts roaming. I create like a heathen. The first cycles of this virus I can send through a modem. Infiltration hit your station. No Microsoft or enhanced DOS will impede. Society thinks they're safe when bingo, hard drive crashes from the rending. A lot of hackers tried viruses before. Vaporize your text like so much whiteout. I want it where file replication is a chore. Lights out, shut down entire White House. I don't want just a bug that could be corrected. I'm erecting immaculate design. Break the nation down section by section. Even to the greatest minds, it's impossible to find. I wanna devise a virus to bring dire straits to your environment. Crush your corporations with a mild touch. Trash your whole computer system and revert you to papyrus. I wanna devise a virus to bring dire straits to your environment. Crush your corporations with a mild touch. Trash your whole computer system and revert you to papyrus.
I have already planned. The plan is programmed into every one of my 1,000 robots. We will not hesitate. We will destroy the Homo sapiens. Please stay where you are.
Hey, I'm making some shit in my basement. Don't tell him no. I love you. I wanna develop a super virus. Better by far than that old Y2K. This is 3030, the time of global unification. Break right through they terminals, burn them all. Slaves of silicon, corrupt politicians with leaders and their keywords. FBI and spies stealing bombs, precipitate their plans in their face and catch the fever. Everybody loot the stores, get your canned goods. Even space stations are having a hard time. Peacekeepers seek to take our manhood, which results in the form of global apartheid. Ghettos are trash dumps with gas pumps, exploded and burnt out since before the Great Union. The last punks walk around like mass monks, ready to manipulate the database or break through them. Human rights come in 100th place. Mass production has always been number one. New Earth has become a repugnant place, so it's time to spread the fear that's fun to some.
Too long have we tried to extend our glorious empire out to the stars, only to be driven back.
I wanna devise a virus to bring dire straits to your environment. Crush your corporations with a mild touch. Trash the whole computer system and revert you to papyrus. I wanna devise a virus to bring dire straits to your environment. Crush your corporations with a mild touch. Trash the whole